Financial crisis in America for people earning close to $100,000 per year, and Elon Musk's wealth drops. Today, I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by MoneyWise and written by Sarah Lewis, titled, "The Federal Poverty Line is Garbage. This Connecticut couple brings in $95,000 per year, but still struggles with expenses." The author of this article referenced a couple from Connecticut. The wife is a high school administrative assistant and the husband is a machinist. Together, they earn $95,000 per year. The couple says their income covers their monthly expenses, but not much else. A $500 emergency room visit for one of their young sons drained most of their savings. Well, my friends, I hate to hear about their financial struggles. I hope they are able to find a way to cope with their financial situation. Unfortunately, there are a lot of Americans who are struggling right now during this period of high inflation. This couple earns close to a six-figure salary, but that doesn't buy what it used to here in America. Back in the early 1980s, I knew a guy who owned a small Allstate insurance agency and typically made around $90,000 per year. That income allowed him to have a large brick home on about an acre of land, a Corvette, a Mercedes, and support a wife and 6 children. I might mention he also had a small oceanfront house in Rhode Island for the summer, which I visited once. There is no way you could do that on $90,000 today. One thing not mentioned in this article is how much the couple is putting away for retirement. Let's say they were under the age of 50 and both maxing out their 401ks at $23,000 per year. That would only leave $44,000. Take out taxes and you aren't left with much. Because there aren't many organizations that offer pensions anymore, the burden to fund retirement falls on the employee, and sometimes it is shared with the employer if they do a match up to a certain percentage. That's the reality here in America in 2024. Do you want to barely scrape by and max out your retirement so you will have a better sense of financial security in old age? Or do you want to live a better life now and only put a little money away for retirement and hope for some amazing returns from the stock market? Getting back to the article, the author referenced information from the Wall Street Journal. Workers at 211 emergency helplines across America have been sounding the alarm over a fast-growing group of people who earn too much to qualify for social services, but not enough to cover all their expenses. The United Way, which operates about half of the nation's 211 call centers, said around 36 million American households, which is about 29% of the population, were considered ALICE, which stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. The federal poverty line for a single person in 2024 is just $15,060 and $31,200 for a family of 4. The United Way of Connecticut president, Lisa Tepper Bates, said the federal poverty line is garbage. Well, my friends, I can understand her frustration. In the year 2024, even salaries in the $40,000 or $50,000 range might be hard to support a family of 4 on. Forget about contributing to retirement. Just basic survival in some cities around America would be very difficult. I'm not even sure you could afford rent in some cities on that level of income, given how much some greedy apartment operators are charging these days. How do you afford utilities, car expenses, food, and medical care? I'm sure there are people who pull it off, but I imagine it takes a lot of sacrifice. I'm also sure some can't pull it off, which is why credit card debt here in America is at the highest level ever on record. Now, I know someone is going to get in the comment section below and talk about how he's supporting a family of 4 in Connecticut with no problem on $40,000, and these young whippersnappers just need to stop drinking their lattes and eating avocado toast each day. So I'm going to beat you to the punch and reference the United Way of Connecticut, who estimates the bare bones survival budget for a family of 4 with 2 children in the state of Connecticut could be as high as $126,000. The organization uses the local cost of housing, groceries, childcare, healthcare, transportation, technology, and taxes to determine survival budgets. I guess life in Connecticut is expensive. There are people in some states here in America who would love to make $126,000 per year. I'm sure some of you would suggest that people move to a state where life is cheaper. Well, that's easier said than done when you have a large family and you are rooted in a community. Some employers even know this, so they are not generous with raises because they know people won't leave. I worked a job years ago where my boss was frustrated after a meeting because employees were in an uproar about having to do more work for the same amount of money. He told me they can just get over it because they all have kids in school and they all own homes. He said they aren't going anywhere. And you know what? He was right. All of those employees stayed for many years to come. They just dealt with it one way or another. Getting back to the article, the author said, a middle-class income is no longer enough to afford a traditional middle-class lifestyle. The prices of everyday essentials are climbing, housing is in short supply, and more families are getting swept into a paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. This is something that I completely agree with. There are a lot of people who think they are middle class, or they like to portray that they are middle class, but in reality, they are probably part of the lower middle class or working class. We are going to have a lot more of both here in America in the future, in my opinion. Most people aren't even familiar with all of the different social classes. I'll share them with you. At the top, there is the capitalist class, followed by upper class, then the super rich, then the rich, followed by upper middle class, then middle class, followed by lower middle class, then working class, followed by working poor, followed by lower class, followed by underclass, and then at the bottom, the poor. I'm going to ask you a question. When do we reach a tipping point here in America with regard to the cost of living, and what happens then? It's not just the middle class that is having a hard time. I read an article today on yahoo.com put out by Insider and written by Theron Mohammed titled, Elon Musk's wealth has crashed by $160 billion from its peak as Tesla's problems pile up. According to the author, Tesla shares have tumbled 62% from their peak as investors gear up for a growth slowdown. Tesla CEO Elon Musk is now worth about $178 billion, down from $340 billion in November of 2021. Here are my thoughts. The math is wrong in this article. If you subtract $178 billion from $340 billion, that equals $162 billion and not $160 billion. $2 billion is nothing to sneeze at, so let's get it right. If I had a measly $2 billion, I could do some amazing things for humanity. Getting back to the article, Elon Musk now ranks third in wealth rankings behind Bernard Arnault, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg. Well, my friends, they all have more money than they can possibly spend. The divide between the haves and the have-nots here in America and around the world continues to grow wider. We are not headed in the right direction, in my humble opinion. We have never seen anything like this since the Gilded Age. I truly worry for humanity because the standard of living for a lot of people may decline as we move into the future, while the elite continue to get wealthier. The billionaire elite often impact government policy and stack the deck. The little guy often does not stand a chance. That's not to say you can't still take advantage of opportunities if you are intelligent and hardworking. You just have to find the right opportunities and strike at the right time. Many entrepreneurs have done this here in America and around the world. Unfortunately, many people are brainwashed to follow the same path as a lot of other people, just like drones, and for some, they end up spinning their wheels and struggling financially their whole lives. Do you feel bad for Elon Musk? Do you think we need to start a GoFundMe page for him? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.